Hi, my name is Mike Hall, and this is my colleague,
Steve Wright.
and we're with Trans World Business Advisors Raleigh. And we wanted just to have a little conversation today about what a business owner needs to do to position their business to sell well. So, one of the first things that we always come across, Steve,
Yeah.
and he's going to chuckle when I mention some of these because he knows as well as I do, the most important thing is you have to keep good books.
Yeah.
Talk about why that's so important,
Yeah,
Steve.
absolutely. So a lot of times people ask us, Mike, and you know this, what do I need to do to make my business, sell for more? I want more profit. And so, our quick answer is that, good books, right? So books are really, really important because the thing that I like to say is no matter where the negotiation is in the process, this is a journey, and so selling a business eventually is going to end up in due diligence. And it's at the point of due diligence, that's when, if you want to use the analogy of someone looking under the hood, that's when you get into due diligence, that's where your books are really going to count, because everything that you've said about the business, it's fine and it's good, but what really matters is in due diligence when this person with their team and their counsel, whether it's their attorney, their accountant, they start looking at the books, and that's where they're going to find the real value of your business.
And there's nothing worse than someone wanting to pop the hood to see a big block 454, and they open it up and there's a two-cycle in there, right?
Exactly.
We just don't want that to happen. And really, the way we prevent that is we market your business in an honest way with a lot of integrity, and we do it based off of the good bookkeeping that you've done all along. All right, so the second thing that we wanted to talk about in preparing your business to sell is what we call financial recasting, right? Steve, if I were to ask you, what is one of the most important things that a buyer wants to know when they go to buy a business?
Yeah, so a buyer, what they're wanting to know is what is their income going to be.
Right.
So if I'm wanting to buy a business, I'm not really looking at all of the bells and whistles and the future potential. What I'm wanting to know as a buyer is if I buy your business today, what is my salary? What is my income? And so a lot of, the goodwill that the business owner has built is going to be handed over to the buyer. And so the recast of income, whether it's salary, health insurance,
Could be cell
retirement,
phones,
cell
vehicles.
phone, all of the benefits to the owner, they're going to want to know what that is. And so we call that process recasting. And recasting really allows us to bring top dollar to the seller.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like you said, ultimately, that buyer wants to know if I'm going to leave my paycheck job and buy a business, I want to know what my salary is going to be. I want to know the salary I'm buying.
Right.
And so we need to be able to document to that business buyer, again, based off of the good books that you've kept and financial records that you've kept, that they are going to be buying a good, healthy salary, and it's going to be a good investment for them.
Right.
And then, of course, there's one more important thing that they need to do, and you were mentioning that earlier. What was that?
Yeah, so the last thing that we were talking about is the importance for the business seller to keep their hands on the handlebar. And so a lot of times, a business takes time to sell. So a business typically doesn't sell in a matter of weeks or a matter of months. It can take some time. And so it's really important that the business seller, while their business is being marketed, sold, and just all of the things that will be happening, that they keep their hands on the handlebar and keep their eyes on the prize, because there's a saying in the business brokerage world that a business is valued up to the day of the closing. Mm-hmm. And so if over the months leading up to the sale, your trajectory, over the last 3 years looks like this, and then you're getting ready to sell your business and, they start seeing a decrease in revenue, that's not a good thing. And so we like to handle all of the logistics. We work with the landlords, the attorneys, the accountants, all of the buyers. We like to do all of those things and take that pressure off of the seller so that they can continue to grow their business.
Yep. In other words, we want to encourage them to run that business, even though it's listed, or even if it's the closing is scheduled. We want them to run it like they're going to run it for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So very good. Well, those are just a few things to keep in mind as it relates to positioning your business to be in a good place to be able to sell and to have a good, healthy exit.